Ashley here with Tranquil Therapy, and this time we're going over myofascial ball rolling, but a little bit more in depth. I know a lot of you have used this against a wall. Maybe you've used it on the floor, but let me tell you how to use it. First off, if you take nothing else from this video, never place this over your spine. Ever. Just don't do it. You can take two if you want, put them in a sock, and then you could put that around your spine where it kind of gets hugged a little bit by the two balls. That could be a peanut sort of situation. I'm sure that you've seen those before, but we're only going to use one for today, and don't put it over your spine. So now that we have that established, I'm going to show you how to use this to get most of the shoulders, a little bit of the higher shoulder into the neck area almost, as well as your glutes, because sometimes we need that. So let's get started. You're going to take this and place it right in between your shoulder blade and your spine. If you have trouble with this and it keeps rolling out from under you, put it in a long sock, throw it over your shoulder, and then situate yourself. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of turn to the side and place it right there. You can use your other arm to do this. I just have a microphone on this side, so I can't. So from here, once you find a good spot for it, for me, it's kind of higher up. You can move around. You're going to go ahead and just stay there. So this least amount of pressure, you're just kind of laying on it. You can feel it a little bit. This isn't going to be enough for most people as far as pressure goes, so I encourage people to put same side up and then both sides up if that's still not enough. Or if you want to move around a little bit, put the side that you're working on's leg down and keep the other leg up. This way you can move the leg a bit and kind of anchor yourself through this to get more pressure along the shoulder blade. And I'm putting most of my weight on this shoulder while I pivot and move with this foot, if that makes sense. Like I can kind of lift my leg up here to show you. Once you've kind of figured out how you like your pressure distributed, you can just kind of stay there for a bit with your palms face up, doing it on the floor. You can roll your knees from side to side if you want to get deeper into that area, move around a bit. And then once you're comfortable, what you can do is bring your elbow kind of out, not quite to where your shoulder is, but a little bit below that, maybe chest level. And you're going to bring your fist up into the air and then back up and then all the way down, bringing your palm up. Then I'm going to inch just a little bit more to get a different spot, and we're going to do the same thing. You might feel some Rice Krispies. That's what it feels like, that snap, crackle, pop kind of thing. But that's all normal. Again, don't put it over any actual like spine or smaller bones if you're trying this in other places. Like just make sure that you don't put it directly over a bone. Now from here, if you want to get a little bit higher, what I found that kind of works is if I have a ponytail, I can kind of guide my neck by pulling my hair as I go along the shoulder up into the neck. So this also requires the stability from the opposite side's foot to kind of pivot and move around. Same side leg is just there to kind of just, it feels more comfortable for me. So from here, you can kind of bring your head down, and that is going along my shoulder. And then I'm letting up and just kind of straightening back out, moving down a little bit, and then repeating it. Now I'm going all the way down, and I just felt Rice Krispies. All right. Now, the whole point about myofascial ball rolling is to slowly ease into the muscle with the tool that you're using. And I know that a lot of times people just kind of want to really get in there as fast as they can, but you can't force this to calm down. You can't force your body to not be tight because you're tight for a reason. And you got to figure out what that reason is. And while you're trying to figure out that reason, you can roll on a ball and get some of that tension out in the meantime and just kind of experiment with it. Like now that you know, like you can move your knees around, you can find a really good spot. I'm going to move down a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's actually better. You could also see what it's like if you kind of like maybe have a surface like this where you can bring your legs down or your arms down into like, a little bit of a negative and then bring it up. You're using all of your muscles in your shoulder when you're lifting like this because you're working against gravity from the floor. So as you're moving around, you'll kind of feel where those, that's the spots are, as well as where you might be getting tight or what the issue may be, because everyone's different and you're gonna, whenever you do this, it's gonna be for different reasons. So it's good to get into the habit of saying, this feels tight, this feels sharp. Putting words or I guess like feelings to it could be a good way to start learning how your body is feeling. Yeah, it's a mindfulness practice. So people come in and sometimes they say, I feel like Uncle Fester with my posture. Or they'll say, I get like tingling going down my arms or things like that. It's just like a start on how to figure out what's going on with your body. Speaking of tingling going down the arms, if that happens, just move off the spot. There's a lot of nerves that pass through the shoulder right here into the hand, and they have to pass through this joint. So just make sure that if you're feeling tingly or shooting pain, that you just move off the area. However, if you're working on this and all of a sudden you feel pain somewhere else, that's known as referred pain, and that could always be a trigger point. I suggest that you stay there for a little while and see how it feels in, I don't know, a minute or two. You could just lay there for a minute or two. And using my body again to get deeper into my shoulder. Now, if for whatever reason this isn't enough pressure, you can always make sure that you ground your feet well and go into a bridge. Now you can start off just a little bit, like just barely lifting yourself up, and then slowly go higher and higher until you find the position that works best for you. And by engaging those muscles in an activity, you actually get a little bit deeper in there, and it helps the muscle understand what you want it to do. You're retraining those muscles when you put pressure on one side and then tell it to move. So that's another good way to retrain your muscles in case you were curious. So now we're going to do a little bit of the hip. Now, before we do this, if you feel lightheaded, if you feel sciatic symptoms, if you feel any sort of like tingling, shooting pain, stop doing it. These things are meant to help you. So if you're feeling pain, that's not it. Stop doing it. And don't force anything. That will lead to injury. So now that we said that, I'm going to do a similar thing on the glutes themselves, and we're going to focus on glute max and mid, if you know what those are. If you're trying to get into the piriformis, that's going to be lower in your glute, and it's right where you can feel on yourself. There's like a little bit of like a bone that sticks out, kind of, where right where you sit, right above that area, that's where it starts, and it goes diagonal into your hip. I'll probably put a visual somewhere on the screen so that you know what it looks like. And that's what you're going for. I find that if you look at the anatomy of what you're trying to do, it makes it a lot simpler to understand how to move your body and where to place the tools. That way you can get the most out of your time. Let's start. I'm gonna move up, I guess. So for this one, we're gonna go right into the top here, the top part of the glute. Oh, fuck. I'm tight. So all I'm doing is I'm gonna use my elbows a little bit, make sure that my shoulder blades are in and down. So I'm kind of trying to bring my shoulders in this position when I'm lying down so that it kind of supports that upper back and that back area. Because from here, I'm going to use my elbows and my opposite leg to move, similar to like these one-legged squat things. So from here, whew, you can just lay on it to start. You can also bend the knee and drag your foot up. And the more you do this, the more pressure you're putting on the glutes because they're activating to help with that movement. So you can just keep bringing it up if you want, and then bringing it back down. Should have stretched before I did this, but here we are. So I'm going to move it just a tad and then bring this opposite knee with same side hand on the outside of the knee, and I'm bringing the knee close to the outside of my body. So I'm bringing it to the side that we're working on, and that's getting a little bit more in that space. I'm bracing with the opposite side's elbow. Now from here you can point the toe and flex the foot if you want to get a little bit deeper, but this right here is working all of those tight muscles that might be either overworking or underperforming when you walk. Never place this again over like a bone, but you're going to try and find the IT band. So when you place it here, you want to make sure that you're not feeling like the actual bone of your leg, but you're feeling that space inside of your pelvic bone right at the top. This is easy to kind of find because once you're on it, if you straighten your leg, it feels like a really big stretch. And that's all we're doing, is bringing the knee to a bent position, to a straightened position. And we're just going to do this a couple times. You could do this while you're scrolling on your phone, keeping your shoulder blades back and down, of course, and just keep going this way. Make it fun. It's going to take a while for the muscles to respond. So take it slow. If you need to, multitask while you do it, if that helps you get through it. But just set aside 15 minutes, if you can, to do basic static stretching like you're used to, myofascial ball rolling. I have things with the Theracane accessible to you. So make sure that you take your time and that you don't rush it. If you force things, it'll end up being worse later. Your body's not going to respond very well to that. So again, take your time, go slow. If you find a good spot and you force that muscle to move or do other things, you're going to get a little bit deeper into that muscle each time. It's going to help you retrain that muscle to do the movement that you want it to do. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want, or don't. That's fine too. But tell your friends that need to watch it that they should watch it. That way they're not hurting anymore. And if you're in the Lancaster City area, maybe come see me. All right. Have a great day. That's all I got.